Okay. Hello again, and thank you for having us. Uh, okay. Let me start my question about the recent Iran attack on Israel. Uh, my first question is that why USA asks Benjamin Netanyahu that, as we saw in the media, that not to respond to Iran, and they say that, especially Israelis say that the USA is not supporting us, and maybe some of them are angry. That's why they are not supporting Israel, and they ask the Israel not to respond. What's the reason?
Well, first of all, the Americans have a presidential election they need to face in the coming month. Already the war on Gaza is costing Joe Biden several states, mainly Arab Americans and Americans who are more aware of the injustice of the Palestinian people and the atrocity of what Israel is doing in Palestine, and in particularly in Gaza and also in the West Bank. Secondly, because a war with Iran will mean the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, that is between 18 to 20% of the world economy. This is not something that the Americans can face, neither the Israelis. Third is because a war with Iran means a war against Iran, against Yemen, Iraq, Syria, and Lebanon. This is not something that the Americans can control the outcome, neither Israel, because they can start a war, but they can't finish it. And the last point is, all this is only to serve one person, that is Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who wants this war to last as long as possible, to remain in power, and wants to drag the Americans into indefinite war because he is in crisis. So because of his failure to achieve anything in Gaza, then he is relying on American being part of a wider war so they can save him and stop the war in Gaza, and blame the Americans and not his failure of not succeeding in defeating the Palestinian resistance and free all the prisoners. This is why the Americans don't see a point in continuing this war.
So you mean that this attack is the future of this attack is the peace? I mean that if Iran wouldn't attack to Israel, what was the future? What would be the future? And now, after attacking Israel, and Iranians say that it is because of to update our deterrence. If there was attack and if there was no attack, what was the future for the of region?
Had Iran not attacked, Israel would have went further to bombard more Iranian objectives and kill more Iranian officials or even diplomats, not only in Syria but also in Iran and other parts. No respect would have been allocated to any Iranian diplomat or embassy or consulate anywhere in the world, regardless the Vienna Convention 1961 that protects the diplomatic missions. But because Iran retaliated, this is a change between the strategic patient to a strategic attack. And the strategic attack imposed deterrence on the Israelis, meaning if you attack us anyway, we will retaliate. And Israel, since 1948, has never been retaliated with so many missiles in one day or in a few hours. They have been retaliated in 1991, but 42 Scud missiles that fell nowhere. It is not a deterrence. Iran has imposed deterrence, showed its capability, and revealed the capability of the interception missile of the Israelis. Had Iran wanted really to inflict serious damage on the Israelis, they would not have announced that they will retaliate, and they would have surprised the Israelis with a large attack coming from Iran, Lebanon, Iraq, Syria, and Yemen. But because the message was not to destroy Israel, but to send a clear message and warning that if you attack us, you will be attacked, I think the message has been received.
What would you think about the response of Benjamin Netanyahu? That because you know they are in the media, especially in the Israel, that they are trying to censor, and they're telling that okay, 90% of your missiles and your drones couldn't touch the targets, and for their people, I think it's very hard because you know it has especially for the Benjamin Netanyahu. Do you think that he would respond or not?
Well, if he is saying that 99% of the missiles and the drones have been intercepted, which means that out of 500, only 5 has reached the objective. And for 5, why he needs to retaliate and he's so excited on starting a bigger war? So he's inevitably lying, because the interception missiles in Israel, although we're talking about the Iron Dome, the Arrow 2, Arrow 3, the David Sling, the Patriot, and all the planes of the US, Israel, the British, the American, and the French were in the air, and the interception missiles that were positioned in Jordan, others in Syria, in the occupied part of Syria, and in Iraq. So if all that managed to intercept 99% of all the missiles and the drones, why he needs to go to a war? It doesn't make any sense. But we are used to the Israeli percentage, and I think we need to wait for a couple of weeks to learn about the reality, because the Israeli army always lie about the damages, and the Israeli media always reveal the lies a few weeks later.